Hello everyone and welcome to It's Dangerous to Go Alone. I am Lily Gravy Bread and I will be joined by Splattrade as we take you through the first 4 rounds of Power Bracket. I'm very excited to be here with you, Splattrade. How are you feeling today?
I'm really excited. This is gonna be a really fun tournament. It always is.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to refresh everyone, this is a free agent tournament. So all these teams have been placed together. You sign up alone and then you get sorted into teams. And we'll be seeing the 2 teams, Invincible Imagination and Heady Hospitality. And we are looking at their rosters right now. I'm curious about these weapon choices actually. What kind of things might you expect to see here, Droid?
I mean, the Arsenal's gonna come in with that be backline the whole time, and like they have a good comp with Invincible Imagination. They do have the right kind of weapons to work with each other, and it seems like Heady Hospitality doesn't have a specific backline, so that could be an advantage for Invincible Imagination.
Yeah, it definitely could be. Now, the thing about like not running a backline is that if you do start losing your players in the middle of a match, it can be difficult to kind of come back in. I find running those anchorless comps, but of course, like having a bull point there is definitely going to be like a really big help. Regardless, and I'm very excited to see actually what they choose to run in these 3 rounds, which we will be taking you through. Yeah, the first match will be Tower Control on MakoMart. Then we'll be going to Clan Blitz and Undertow Spillway. It's not something I often see, but I find it fun. Like I'm a Clan Blitz enjoyer myself. Before we move on to Museum Delfonzino Splat Zones. Now, MakoMart Tower Control. This is one, MakoMart in general, I find is one where you really have to be playing around the ledges, playing around the 2 stacks and making sure you have a lot of control over them. But Droid, do you have any like opinions or like expectations or things that you'd like, or maybe even like things that you'd like to see here on Tower Control MakoMart?
I expect to see like very aggressive comps from at least one of the teams, probably the backline list comp with the MakoMart Tower Control, because that usually works out really well here. And like you can get a push going and get it really fast on this map compared to some others in Tower Control, because you can push all the way up onto the snipe area.
Yeah, absolutely. And backlineless, we might be expecting a backlineless comp from Heady Hospitality in that sense. Invincible Imagination definitely has like a backline player, and you can actually, I do feel, I'm not like a backline player myself, mind you, but I do feel that there are some pretty strong spots for, pretty strong spots, I believe, a sniper or even like a ballpoint, even like to set up, I gotta say. Looks like we'll be going into the game at the moment, and we are seeing that ballpoint coming out, of course, and actually we are seeing a ballpoint on both sides, I believe, Droid.
Yeah, that was actually surprising. So it seems like they're running a lot of run speed on that ballpoint with Heady Hospitality, and that is a very interesting choice. They do seem to get that's a big trade with the ballpoint and Slosher, and it's instantly just like pick after pick on each other. Lily.
Yeah, absolutely, and we saw them go 3 down at that moment. This is going to be the time that they really need to be able to pressure this flat here to be able to make sure they can secure that checkpoint. Arsenal really trying to pressure the tower as it starts to move ahead a little bit more, but 4 players are up, only 1 player has gone down, 2 players down on the other side actually, so we are going to potentially be seeing this tower move back neutral at the moment, right?
Yeah, they're just trying to get little picks, and they do pick off the blaster with that hammer, and they can make a push off of this. The inkjet moving in with the booyah bomb. They do have a lot of pressure and a lot of paint over the map, and this Slosher is probably going to be overcome. Lily.
Yeah. We got those slushes kind of at each other's necks at the moment there, but it does look like the tri-slush does go down. Two specials are online at the moment, so we might be able to see some kind of work happening at this point. If they manage to keep this up, we are definitely seeing the tri-struck come out. Arsenal gets a great pick actually to prevent any push from being made, but it does look like they are going to try and desperately find an opening. They really have to win a fight here, I believe, Troy, in order to get this tower moving again.
Yeah, they had an opportunity with the 3 down, but they didn't have map control, so it makes sense why they didn't go. And that's a wipeout, and that's a big chance to get back the lead. They'll probably get that here. They want to hold that plat really well. The hammer pop coming up. Lily.
Yeah, there is the hammer pop, and it looks like they'll probably be trying to help this push go even further with that inkjet as well, with the tactical coming out. Hopefully they can continue taking up this space in order to really able to push this over to the second checkpoint, which they have absolutely secured. We're seeing this tri-slash going on an incredible rampage here before finally being picked off. That was a really good play, a really fantastic flank, I believe, to be able to really clear out that area, but it does look like the tower is being taken back at this moment, right?
Yeah, they have to get the paint here, and that after that try got that pick, they almost got a triple in there, and that could have been really bad for them. The blaster is pushing up really hard, trying to get them to back off and get control of the mid so they can actually move at all. And the hammer coming out in the middle of everyone picks off the blaster, but gets picked off. Lily.
Yeah, we saw that trade happening right there. It does look like we are going back into maybe a little bit of a neutral game, but you know, I want to see this tower start moving again, but unfortunately does start to move back to mid. 2 players down, actually 1 player down on each side. If this is the back line, we might be seeing a little bit of bloodbath happening here once again before anyone can really pick up the tower again. But you know, this is a big lead of 36 that we're already seeing that you know, they need to be able to work around in the last 90 seconds of this game. And being, as you said, Troy, being able to get paint is going to be really crucial for them to be able to take up this space.
Yeah, and they're seeming to do that, and they just picked off 3, so they can actually even push even harder with the past that 36 if they want to. The inkjet battle, I don't know if either of them are going to hit each other, and that goes to Mox. That was a really good inkjet. Oh wait, no, that was a wiper. Lily.
That was a wipe, but you know what? I love seeing those dogfights. They're definitely one of my favorite things to watch in the game at the moment. Does look like Arsenal does get on the tower, but it's picked up once again by Eden here, and they are still going to be definitely trying to take control of this area, but you know, it might be a little bit of a struggle to move back in. They really have to try and play around these stacks at the moment to find a way out. It does look like the fight is happening over here behind the tower, but you know, if any players go down on either side, it can definitely swing back and forth this moment. It does look like 2 players have gone down. Looks like Risu is kind of trying to move back up. Unfortunately gets picked off there. Chuck/Eden is definitely going to be going for the pick. That would be fantastic. This is huge for them. The thing is, Droid, I want to see them to be able to, I really want to see them to be able to get the paint they need on the ground in the last few seconds. Otherwise, they won't be able to do anything in overtime.
And that looks like the end.
That looks like that's going to be game.
Yeah, they just weren't able to get that paint on the map in time, and were just like they got the pick on the ball point, but they did not have time to just have control and be able to push afterwards.
Yeah, it was definitely a hard fought battle towards the end to definitely try and take up that space, but you know, that is going to be there. It was great to see actually the amount of paint control that we were seeing as well, but you know what, Invincible Imagination in the end being able to take that game, not just with that paint control, but actually being able to absolutely, and we saw them really go 3 down at that moment, pushes with the amount of support they were getting from the inkjet as well.
Yeah, and that inkjet always pushed up really far and got all the way onto their plat, past it, and just kept them back while they had control of the mid, and that really helped them push up. in that try with that flank helped them get those little extra points that helped them from getting the comeback. The other team from getting the comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. That was you mentioned that tri-slosher. I really want to see what that tri-slosher might be able to do here on Undertow Spillway Clan Blitz. And as I said before, it's not necessarily something that it's not necessarily a map mode that you tend to see very often in competitive. But you know what? I think this is one that I actually do enjoy whenever it comes up in rotation. Anyway, it's another one where there are those funky little ledges that those tri-sloshers really like to play off of, especially in mid. You know, it's one of those maps where you do have those also like fairly narrow passageways to try and work your way through, but you know, with the help of those bull points, the help of that inkjet, you can definitely have a really big impact here.
Yeah, the tri-slosher is definitely going to be able to use that spine a lot to get in, and the ball points will have to hold. I don't know if we'll see both ball points because one of them isn't completely backline, but I wouldn't be surprised, and so they could hold down pressure in the middle on that class.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like we will be readying up into this next game at the moment. I'm very excited to see. I'm very excited to see what weapons they do choose here because, you know, Clan Blitz. I love Clan Blitz. You really have to play around your paint as well, and we saw the previous game. We definitely saw in the previous game Invincible Imagination had that really incredible paint control. So let's see what they managed to bring out. At the moment, it looks like we are seeing a ball point on both sides once again. 52 gal also. I like 52 gal. I play 52 gal. 52 gal is fun. It's definitely one that you can like set up in really strong positions here. Because once again, there are those narrow passageways to take control with your wall as well. We are seeing Risu here trying to find a little bit of high ground as well, just to make sure things are painted up just enough so they have enough control to be able to move in. It does look like Eden's attempting to take the spine, but is getting back a little bit. We're going to be seeing what happens here. Droid, what do you reckon needs to happen in order to take this here?
They need to get past that ball point without dying. Somebody needs to pick them off in a good timing, and they do seem to get the yelp. They do get Lily.
Yeah, they do seem to get Arsenal here does seem to be getting a fantastic position here with the inkjet. Having to be careful of Eden's inkjet as well. Eden manages to, I believe, hold back that attempt at a push as well, and Gamer is here with the power climb, trying to move up with the rest of their team once again. Droid, we're seeing once again like really good 52 wall placing as well, just to try and move up ahead. But also here, oh my goodness, we just saw a wipeout Droid as that clan basket opens.
Yeah, they have so many clams, and they're gonna get quite a bit of points here. The 52s having those walls to keep them from getting trying to get back out of their base is really useful. And they're just getting more and more, and it's already down to 17, and that's not good for the other team, really.
Yeah, this is definitely not good for the other team, but it does look like with that wipeout, this is going to be that end of that push right here. Now down to 14, this is going to be a tricky push to be able to make a comeback from, but you know, there are still 3 minutes left in the game. Nothing is impossible here. They just have to remain diligent. They have to continue getting these wipeouts. They have to continue being able to push up and getting those clams in, which they do. We're probably going to see an inkjet coming out soon as we do here. Getting another clam, that jump, absolutely impressive. Unfortunately, not being able to get it in, but finally someone manages to pick it up. But unfortunately, Troy, they all go down there.
They all go down after they did get a good push in, but they all got wiped out, and that's not good. And they don't have paint control because they just moved in really fast off of 2 wipeouts. So the other team will be able to make another push here. They have enough clams, and they already have a super clam and 7 clams in inkjet. They're all going in, and yeah, that's already 2 more in. They barely need any more. Lily.
Yeah, it does look like this is probably going to be the game-winning push. We only have a couple of clamps to get in at the moment, and they are looking around to try and get them in right now. But do they have them? They have a power clam online, but nothing else. So I don't think they might even have the time to be able to move up together. And we did see that clam basket close without them actually being able to move up ahead. That power clam that they did have was pushed quite far back, and having to not wanting to fight against that tri-slash, it is definitely going to be a bit of time. But we do finally see them find that opening to get that power clam in once again, and the extra clams that they need to win that game.
Yeah, they really had all the control of the map there. They kept getting push after push, and like when the other team got a push, they went really fast off of it and had 2 wipeouts, and they were able to do that, but they didn't have the paint to keep the other keep them from anti-pushing right away, and they took advantage of that and got the KO.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Heady Hospitality will be winning that game with the scores. The score is currently 1-1 on either side. I'm excited to see what happens in the next game, actually, because you know what, Invincible Imagination, they had a really good amount of paint control in the first game. Heady Hospitality, they had that paint control in the second game, but this one is Splat Zones. This is where paint control, this is where paint is the name of the game. You have to be able to paint that zone. You have to be able to push up and take control of the other team's plat around the spinner. You have to be able to also play around the ledges as well, but also I gotta say it also comes down to being able to move in off that choke point from the spinner in mid as well, Droid. Now, this is a Splat Zones map I really like. What do you think of this one?
I think it's a really good one, and especially with the ballpoint meta in the way that there's a ballpoint on both sides, they'll definitely be keeping those, and it'll work really well to keep control of the map, and there's some really good inkjet spots for it. So I think it'll be a pretty interesting match.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know, with the buckets that we've been seeing, definitely strong choices here to pressure those plats and to help. You know, as you said, the inkjet. I reckon those will definitely be a good choice to help them push up, especially from that choke point, moving up onto the plat as well on the other side, which is definitely what you need to be doing in order to maintain your ground here once you've capped that zone. Now, the other thing I actually really like about museum zones is that there's quite a few options for you to move out from. You're not just like moving out from your plat just from like one side itself, but it does look like we are going to be going into the game right now. So let's see what they bring to the table. I'm very excited. We are seeing on the side of Invincible. Hang on. We are seeing actually. No, my mistake. We are seeing a ballpoint on both sides. Invincible Imagination currently bring out the ballpoint with Arsenal. Heady Hospitality as well also has that ballpoint too. Does look like Heady Hospitality does manage to get the first cap of the game, but that is probably going to be a fairly contested zone here, as they haven't got it quite painted up all the way at the moment. The 2 players have gone down. But, you know, I think they're still going to be holding on here with the tactical coming out, going to be using that to try and push up ahead, Droid.
Yeah, they brought back the 52, which seemed to work again the last round, which makes a lot of sense because it will still work to push up onto their plat after they take control of zone. So they can be very aggressive after controlling zone. But here, the Octopus is trying so hard to get anything they can. Get one, but get picked off afterwards. And
yeah, absolutely. Heady Hospitality at this point still manages to cap the zone once again, bring it down to the 30s. This is a really strong push from them. We are seeing Mox here trying to shark around, see if they can find an opening for their team. Now we did see Invincible Imagination almost be able to retake, almost be able to take the zone with those fire tracks before. But I want to be able to see them get their specials online to take the zone. But it does look like in these last few seconds with this 100-0 push. Oh my goodness, Troy! It does look like that I believe Heady Hospitality ends up taking that game. That was an incredible push.
That was. They had all the pressure. They were very coordinated. Always were like 2-on-1 when defending the zone. were ready with the walls from the double 52. That's a unique comp that actually worked very well, Lily.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, the 52s being such an aggressive weapon worked out really well for them. I gotta say. Now, I do believe we'll probably in a moment be passing over to our analysts, Kirby and We Like Rice. But Joy, do you have any like final thoughts before we pass over to them?
Not really.
Yeah, well, congrats also to Heady Hospitality for being able to make a comeback over Invincible Imaginations. Fantastic paint there. Alright, so we'll be taking a little break and we'll see you soon. And I believe we'll be passing it over to the analysts. Yep, alright, so we'll be back with the next set after we hear from Kirby and Rice about this one.
All right, hello. I'm one of your analysts, Rice, and I'm here with my co-analyst, Kirby. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kirby. This is not much about me.
All right, I believe we're getting to the analyst screen anytime soon with some replays, but just a couple things that I noticed from the both teams is that they both went with inkjet comps, which is pretty common nowadays with just how the meta is, as inkjet being very prevalent.
Yeah, but lots of inksets, and yeah, as the commentator said, I really enjoyed watching like those inkjet like dogfights. Like they're definitely entertaining.
For sure. I do think it was quite interesting from Invincible Imaginations. They most of their comps did not have a single shooter. Like the closest thing they had to a shooter was that ballpoint, and that worked for them for the first map as they did win tower control on Mako. But I think for the next two maps, it was a bit of a struggle, especially for Clan Blitz, where you need to hold as much paint, and then spot zones, well, you need to paint the zone, right?
Yeah, the lack of paint was definitely a big problem that I noticed as well. Like yeah, even in the spot zones, like the lack of shooters or a lot of painting ability was not helping them in the greatest way. But it was very interesting to see, like, you know, not the shooter meta. I've always enjoyed watching like weapons that aren't just shooters, so it's fun to see them take that attempt.
Yeah, well, going back to this first game, I also think it worked out for them because especially on MakoMart, all these ledges and like the elevation really benefits sloshers and wiper, especially on this map, and they just were able to hold on to control as much as they could compared to, I think, on the side of Heady Hospitality, where they were just being pushed out by the aggression on the side of Invincible Imaginations.
Yeah. But then, and then the was that the Clan Blitz game?
Yes,
Definitely
next
also
one was
seeing,
Clan Blitz.
yeah, the Clan Blitz. All those on the Heady Hospitality, when they kept throwing out all those, the whales and the walls, definitely stopping them from pushing forward. and then that stopped them from taking the space that they needed was a great way for what was that, Heady Hospitality to take the win on that and take that great push at the beginning.
Yeah, especially with the walls and the whales on Undertow, they really were just able to hold control as long as they could, as Invincible Invincible Imaginations had a hard time really countering those walls, especially not having too many bombs to throw at the walls to really like shred them.
Yeah. And then it was a good attempt on the Invincible Imagination to get that pushback. I even thought they might have actually overtaken the 14 because I did get, what was it, was it a wipeout that they got? I'm not sure.
I believe they did get a wipeout, yes.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if there's gonna be a comeback here.
Yeah, I definitely do think also just Invincible Imaginations really could not outpaint Heady Hospitality in Clan Blitz, and we saw that pretty especially on the zones.
The zones, yes.
Yeah. But also I thought it was quite interesting the change of compositions on Invincible Imaginations, while on Heady Hospitality I guess they thought the double 52 gal was a really good way to just have that paint output compared to the other team.
Yeah, and then taking the space with the whales and the walls, like I said earlier, that just helped push them forward and maintain the space that they needed while keeping the high ink output that they were able to have with their weapon comp.
Yeah, I definitely think that Invincible Imaginations, they have a really strong composition. I think some map modes will favor them compared to others, but I think if they play to their strengths, they definitely can get to top cut, because I think especially if they play very aggressive and take lead early like that first game, they can hold on to that lead with the aggression they have.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with that.
And that'll be the end of our analysis for this first set, but don't go anywhere. We're getting into our second round, and feel free to just hang around and listen to music.